work out for them. And we've also heard about graduates not only doing menial jobs. We've heard about graduates that are doing jobs as cashiers. We've heard about graduates that are doing jobs that they have not basically studied for or qualified to do at this point in time. But at the end of the day, it puts a damper. It puts a damper on a young person and their future, because this is what the future is all about. Ayanda, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Ware. How are you?
Yes, very well, thanks. And I can hear you loud and clear now. Ayanda, I know you're the
Okay.
president of the Unemployed Graduates Association. Are you employed at this point in time?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ware, for an opportunity, and greetings to all the listeners and the viewers. Well, Ayanda Innocent Kumalo is still an unemployed graduate as well, as much as we are representing the unemployed graduate, but I myself still am not employed.
And what did you study for?
I did community development and leadership as my undergrad, and then I did politics and international relations as my honors.
Right. Now, obviously, this is a big problem at this point in time, because there are thousands upon thousands of people like yourself, Ayanda, at this point in time, battling. And, when you get into university, you raise hopes, that your future obviously relies on the time that you're going to be spending at university until the point when you're going to graduate. And I'm sure it's a huge disappointment for you and thousands of others at this point in time in this country.
Well, as the Unemployed Graduates Association, currently we are having thousands and thousands of unemployed graduates on our database. So, number one, what we can echo is that the unemployed graduates are currently discouraged. They are frustrated, they are depressed, they are broke, they are badly indebted. And what is the most uh, 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 um, viable factor that causes this whole frustration? It's the persistent failure of our government in creating job opportunities. And
Yes.
I think
Now,
with the vision 2030, we won't be able to eliminate poverty by then. Because if there are no people who are having salaries, who are earning, then how are we going to even grow the economy?
exactly. Now, I don't think it's only the youth who are being let down by the government at this point in time, but just focusing on the youth. And we know President Cyril Ramaphosa tomorrow, once again, is going to address the nation. And we've heard this over and over again, where he's spoken about the youth. He's spoken about the future of the youth, and looking at Africa, where generally, when you look at South African population, the African population, many people are young people in this country. And when we're talking of a continent where there are young people that don't have opportunities, it sends a clear signal that the signs going into the future are not good for the country and for the continent as a whole.
Well, I think statistically, if you may check, young people, you are correct. Young people are the majority of the population of this country. So, what does this mean? This means that we also have representatives who are young in the spaces, in the relevant spaces, but not even one of them is representing the struggle of the young graduates or the young unemployed people in the youth, because what they are busy with, it's factions, those who are into partisan politics, others who are in the spaces of tenderships and entrepreneurs and small businesses. What are they busy with? They are busy with Louis Vuittons and your Gucci's and your trending lifestyles. So there isn't anything that is practical, that is actually happening to champion the struggle of the young people. So already old people are in charge, they are leading. But now those people, look at what's happening at NYTA. Already now the board was to be, I mean, there's a lot that is happening there. So because there are people who do not deserve to be there, but because of the association and nepotism, they were brought into the picture. And now what about those who are qualifying and deserve to be there? So
Yes.
with this SONA, we do not have really much of expectations, because it's going to be a ceremonial event. It's going to be ceremonial speeches. Again, we're going to be told about the trains, the smart city, and also the FDI. How has the FDI assisted us? during the pandemic, how has it assisted us? Because it has been the catalyst of the corruption that we're facing as a country.
Exactly. And I think what has happened as far as the pandemic is concerned and the state of the economy, which has got even worse, and we know it was bad in the build up to the pandemic, the situation is just likely to get worse. And for young people, obviously, the signs are not good. But Ayanda, just looking at, your expectations, what do you expect the government to be doing at this point in time?
I think at this point in time, the government must give us a platform to organize ourselves, because when we're trying to, it doesn't really happen. Number two, we must look at transforming the curriculum, because if we're looking at the unemployment issue, we must not tackle it from the bottom down approach, but it must be, I mean, a top-down approach, but it must be a bottom-down approach, bottom-up approach. I mean, so with that being said, we also need to revisit the curriculum, because that's where initially our problems are beginning. We need to drive a facilitation of career guidance, whereby we're going to conscientize our students in the university, I mean, in the high schools, as to what are the courses or what are the jobs that are already in demand in the market, so that when you go to varsity, already you have a sense of understanding what is it that is expected from me, and how am I going to play a role in developing the economy of this country as well. So we're expecting more of the practical and execution plans on that, not just these big English and nice words that is going to be having. So we just want a plan of action. That's it, a plan of action. How are we going to execute? Because these plans from the 1994 manifesto of the African National Congress, it has been one version, just that it has been given, or I don't know, it has been put in a way that now we'll think, oh, it's more relevant now. So these are just statements to trend as politicians, but there is no execution. So we're hungry for execution, we're hungry for action.
Well, obviously, hungry for action, and also at the end of the day, you want to see results. Now, this is just one initiative as far as the Unemployed Graduates Association to address the issue, to address the challenges, to address the problems that young graduates and young people who are jobless are facing at this point in time. And I'm sure, Ayanda, that we cannot sustain this situation for much longer, because at some point in time, something has got to give as far as this country is concerned.
Well, Mr. Wadi, you are correct. I think if the government may also approach the private sector, because we believe that the private sector hasn't been properly approached for the benefit of the young people or of the unemployed graduate and skilled youth in South Africa. But it has only been for tender opportunities to say, as what happened to that 500 billion, no one knows. But we're here again having all these interviews, but the people who must come and account. So also in this speech, we are also expecting the president to account on what really transpired with also the vaccines as well, because it wasn't only going to be given to those who are working, even the unemployed youth were going to benefit, I guess. So right now, what we are doing as the Unemployed Graduates Association, we are currently mobilizing every young person across the country to say, let's unite on this vision to dismantle the unemployment. Let's unite. And then we have formed partnership with some of the institutions in Johannesburg and in KZN. To mention few, Growth Institute, which is an institute that helps in the reskilling. Let's say maybe you do have a qualification, but now due to the fact that it is not really, or rather it's obsolete. So how can you then help yourself into changing or finding something better that is relevant in the job market? So we're also in partnership with that organization. We're also in partnership with the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. So we make sure that in each and every post that they implement, they include young people, and we receive those posts and disseminate them to our constituency. As well as right now, we are organizing a march because we want to be heard. We're organizing a march to union buildings. I think it's going to be sometime March in March, where we want to meet up with the president and also submit the recommendations as well as our memorandum.
Well, Ayanda, thank you very much for that, and I'm sure we will talk closer to the March as well. But for now, we thank you for your time with us here on Salam Media on News and Views. We wish you all the best. Please take care.
Thank you very much to the media station, and thank you very much to you, Mr. Wade. That'd be great.
All the best to you. Ayanda Kumalo joining us this morning with regards to the plight of young people, young graduates who are battling to find jobs in this country. And that brings us straight on to 10 a.m. It's time for me to sign off this morning from myself and from all of us here at Salam Media, the rest of the team. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.